Procrastination. Yep, that sneaky habit of putting things off even if we know we need to do something or we know that it's good for us. It happens to the best of us, right? So how do we beat it? Today I'm going to break down 5 super simple yet very powerful steps that will help you crush procrastination once and for all. Hopefully. Also stick around to the end. There's a bonus tip that you do not want to miss, but let's jump right into it. Let's start with the first and probably the most important step of forming good habits. I know it sounds very basic, but it's the foundation for everything. Now think about it. There are so many things that you do every single day. You know, you're brushing your teeth, you make that coffee, or you start scrolling through Instagram, and it's all automatic. You do them on autopilot because they've become habits. So what if you can make those tasks that you dread doing, like going to the gym or writing a paper, just as automatic? You see, procrastination happens very often because we overthink things. We think too much about the task that we don't want to do it. We build it up in our minds until it feels overwhelming. But if we can create a habit around doing that thing, we take away the dread part of it. For example, let's say you want to start working out. Instead of doing 1-hour sessions every single day, start small. You can start by simply putting on workout clothes in the morning. That's it. Nothing else. No pressure to actually work out just yet. Just form the habit of getting dressed for it. Over time, putting on workout clothes will signal to your brain that it's time to go. It's time to go to the gym. It's time to go out for a walk. It's time to go for a run. You'll naturally start it without even thinking about it. Here's another example. If you're a student, you're probably dreading writing that paper. Like, you're probably sitting there right now watching my video for how to not procrastinate while you procrastinate. Don't make it about writing the paper the whole way. Don't do the whole thing at once. Form a habit of just sitting down at your desk at the same time every day and spending maybe 10 minutes just outlining ideas. You see, that small action over time will make the process feel a lot less intimidating. And soon you'll find yourself writing away without any kind of hesitation. You know, that trick helped me in law school because we had to write a lot and we had to read a lot. Instead of doing the whole thing in one night, all I did was just space it out. 10 minutes every single day at the same time, and it became a habit for me. Automatically, around whatever time it was, I would sit down and just do that task, write that paper. It becomes a habit and not a chore. Okay, on to step 2, the 3, 2, 1 countdown method. Probably my favorite. It sounds so simple, but it can snap you out of procrastinating in an instant. We often hesitate before we start a task, and our brains are wired to avoid discomfort, so we keep putting it off. But with the 3, 2, 1 countdown method, we trick our brain into action. Let's say you've been procrastinating cleaning your desk, for instance. Every time you look at it, you find yourself reaching for your phone instead, or you'll just tell yourself that you'll do it later. Instead, when you catch yourself hesitating, count down from 3 and then get up and start. You see, the countdown creates a sense of urgency and momentum. And before your brain has any time to talk yourself out of it, you're already moving. The key is to just start. And once you've gotten over that initial hurdle, the rest becomes a lot easier. In fact, I've used this method so many times in my life. For example, filming these videos, sometimes you're just not in the mood for it, right? But I knew I had to get it done. And whenever I feel like, gosh, I don't want to do it, or I put it off for no real reason, I count 3, 2, 1, and guess what? Here I am, yapping away at you. Again, why are you watching this when you're supposed to be writing your essay? Number 3, the force. Taking action. Act even if it's just a small action. Now here's something that a lot of people get wrong. It's that they wait until they feel motivated before they do anything at all. But in reality, action creates motivation. And sometimes the hardest part is getting started. So let's say you've been avoiding cleaning your desk, for instance. Instead of telling yourself that I'm gonna clean the whole thing right now, start small. Pick up one item and put it away. That's it. That small action creates a sense of momentum. You've already done something, and that little bit of progress makes it easier to keep going. And before you know it, you'll find yourself in the zone, clearing more and more off your desk until, lo and behold, you have a clean desk. Honestly, this principle applies to just about anything. writing, working out, answering emails, right? Start with just one small task and let that small task motivate you to do more tasks. It's all about creating momentum. And the great thing is, once you've started, it's actually easier to keep going than it was to just start. All right, step 4, declutter and organize. This one is crucial, especially when your environment looks like your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend just found out about your new lover and they're super toxic and crazy jealous. Not a personal experience, but from actual personal experience. When my space is cluttered, it's like my brain is also cluttered. I can't focus and everything feels overwhelming. But when my space is clean and organized, suddenly the task that I've been dreading doesn't seem so bad. Here's a tip. Take 5 minutes before you start any task to declutter. You don't have to go full Marie Kondo, but clearing off your desk or organizing the space around you can make a huge difference in how productive you feel. You see, when your environment is in order, it sends a message to your brain that you're ready to work and everything feels more manageable. Personally, I like to do a mini declutter every night before I go to bed so that the next morning when I wake up, I'll have a clean space and I'm ready to go. And I'm much less likely to procrastinate on my task for the day. Try it out and see how a tidy space can actually make you feel more focused. And you'll start checking off that to-do list like rapid fire. Finally, number 5, embrace the boredom. This one might seem counterintuitive, but trust me, boredom is actually your best friend and is actually a great tool to beat procrastination. Here's the thing, we live in a world full of distractions. You know, your phone, social media, the TV, Black Myth Wukong. There's always something pulling our attention away from what we're supposed to be doing. But what if we remove all of those distractions? If you've ever just sat there with nothing to do, you know that eventually you'll start looking for something, anything to keep you entertained. And here's where it gets interesting. There's actually a famous study, I'll leave a link in the description below, that shows how much people hate being bored. In this experiment, people were placed in a room with nothing to do except to think. No books, no phone, no distractions whatsoever. But the catch is, they were given a button where if you press it, you get an electric shock. And guess what happened? You'd be shocked. A lot of people chose to shock themselves just to escape boredom. That's right, they preferred electric shocks over doing absolutely nothing. Now, I'm not suggesting that you shock yourself to stop procrastinating, but the study shows just how desperate our brains are to avoid boredom. So how can we use this to our advantage? When you eliminate distractions and embrace boredom, you'll naturally start looking for something productive to do. If the only thing left for you to do is the task that you've been avoiding, well, guess what? That task is going to become more appealing. Without your phone or any other kinds of distraction in your environment, that task is going to be the most stimulating thing in that room. And that's when you'll stop procrastinating and you'll start working. So the next time you're stuck, turn off all distractions, get away from any kinds of distractions, and let the boredom seep in and watch how quickly you'll start moving. This technique works wonders for me when I'm trying to focus on some kind of deep work or a project that I've been putting off. Without any kind of distractions around, I'm left with no choice but to take on the task and do it. And funny enough, once I start, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. All right, guys, bonus tip number 6, prioritize rest. One of the most overlooked aspects of beating procrastination is making sure you're giving yourself the rest you need, whether that's through good sleep, taking a break, having some downtime for yourself. Rest is essential to productivity. When you're running on empty, your brain has a harder time to focus. Procrastination feels almost inevitable. Have you ever noticed how it's a lot easier to just get things done when you're well rested? That's because your brain's sharper, your mood's better, and tasks don't feel as overwhelming. Now, the important thing is it doesn't just mean sleep, although that's very important. It also means taking short breaks throughout the day or just giving yourself some downtime. Try something relaxing, going for a walk, stretching, or Heck, even just sit there quietly. When your mind and body are rested, you'll find it easier to jump back into your work with renewed energy. So if you're struggling with procrastination, don't forget that rest is just as important as action. A well-rested mind is a productive one. All right, everyone, 6 steps. If you haven't seen the last video, it's right here, or somewhere over here. Don't know where it is, but thanks for watching and see you next Tuesday. Peace.